Imagine this. You're always ready to keep a promise to your boss. You'll drop plans for a friend, help out a family member at a moment's notice, and answer emails late into the evening because someone expects it of you. When others are counting on you, you step up. No excuses, no hesitation. But when it's about the promises you make to yourself, maybe it's to wake up earlier, read more, eat healthier, or take a small step toward a personal dream. Those promises are so often the first to fall away. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll start. That project, that workout, that habit you truly care about, postponed. Just this once, you reason. But the truth is this, every time you cancel on yourself, it isn't just a skipped workout or an unfinished book. It's another message sent straight to your own core. I don't keep promises to myself. Imagine the impact of teaching yourself that over and over again for years. Trust doesn't just vanish overnight. It erodes with each quiet promise you break. Until eventually, I'll do it tomorrow becomes an empty phrase you barely believe. Today is where that story changes. If you're ready to relearn what it means to trust yourself, to show up for your goals with the same commitment you give to others, it starts now. Not by trying harder, not by pushing through with sheer willpower, but by understanding the real mechanics of discipline. The truth is, discipline isn't just some heroic burst of effort. It isn't about brute forcing your way through your feelings or scolding yourself at every slip-up. Discipline, as so many people try to practice it, is exhausting because it's built on the wrong foundations. So, what's the right foundation? Let's talk about the discipline loop. Discipline is fundamentally a loop. Think of it like a cycle, a self-reinforcing system, rather than a single moment of struggle. It's not just about gritting your teeth and forcing yourself to do the thing you said you'd do. It's about setting up a pattern that can run itself day after day, even when your motivation is nowhere to be found. How does this loop actually work? Picture the process like this. Step 1. Action. You begin, not because you feel like it, but because it's the next step in your loop. You take a small action toward your goal. Step 2. Proof. Finishing that action, even if it's tiny, immediately gives you evidence. You didn't just think about it, you actually did it. Step 3. Identity. That evidence, repeated day after day, changes the way you see yourself. You start to believe, on a core level, I'm the kind of person who does this. That belief is powerful beyond words. Step 4. Momentum. Each time you see yourself acting on your commitments, that identity grows. And each time your identity grows stronger, taking the next action becomes easier. The loop is self-sustaining. That's the discipline loop. You don't build discipline by waiting for motivation to strike or beating yourself up for falling short. You build it by showing up, proving to yourself what you're capable of, and letting that proof reshape how you see yourself. With every small win, the loop continues, and identity-based discipline takes root, not from force, but from consistency. This loop changes everything, but most people don't know how to use it. Instead, they fall for a dangerous myth, that intensity is better than consistency. Maybe you know the pattern. Fired up by a wave of motivation, you make a massive plan. You're going to overhaul everything. The early alarms, the strict diet, the marathon study sessions. For 3 days, you're on fire. But by the end of the week, you're exhausted. You miss one day, then another. Soon, you're back to old habits, feeling worse than before. What's missing is the power of consistency. While intensity burns bright and fast, consistency is the steady flame that actually shapes your life. Imagine showing up for just 5 minutes every single day for 50 days. No huge sacrifices, no heroic effort, just showing up. It's tempting to think this wouldn't make a difference because it feels too small. But your brain isn't searching for perfection. Your brain is looking for patterns. The story you tell yourself isn't, "I failed because I only did 5 minutes." It becomes, "I did what I said I would do again." Each tiny action is a vote cast for the kind of person you want to become. Over time, those votes add up, and a new identity takes over. This is why consistency always wins over intensity. A little action, daily, carries your identity further than any burst of motivation ever could. Motivation comes and goes, but habits, triggers, and patterns, those stick. So what's the secret to showing up for yourself every day, even when the motivation isn't there? The answer is triggers. You don't need to feel inspired to do the right thing. You just need a trigger, a small, reliable reminder that it's time to act. It could be an alarm, a sticky note, or placing your gym shoes by the door. The trigger isn't about effort. It's about making action the path of least resistance. Now, let's get practical. There are 3 tools you can use to install the discipline loop into your daily life. They're simple, but transformative when practiced. The first tool is environment. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. If you want to read before bed, put the book on your pillow. If you want to exercise first thing in the morning, set out your workout clothes and shoes where you'll see them. When the action you want to take is obvious and easy to access, your brain has fewer opportunities to make excuses. A well-designed environment turns your intentions into automatic behaviors effortlessly. The second tool is tracking. What you measure, you improve. Use a habit tracker, a wall calendar, or even a simple notebook. Every time you complete your action for the day, mark it down. As you build your streak, you build a story, not just about the actions you've taken, but about the kind of person you're becoming. Each checked box is another piece of evidence that you're moving forward. It gives you a concrete sense of progress and accountability. The third tool is reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to ask yourself one simple question. Did I show up for myself today? If the answer is yes, take a moment to genuinely feel proud. Relive that small win and let it reinforce your identity. If the answer is no, don't spiral into regret. Instead, reset your intentions and remind yourself tomorrow is a fresh vote. Reflection keeps you honest. Not harsh, just honest. And honesty builds trust. If you take nothing else from today, remember this. Discipline isn't about punishing yourself into submission. It's about treating yourself with respect, making and keeping small promises day after day until those promises become part of who you are. You deserve that trust. So here's your action step. Don't chase perfection. Just show up today as you are and do one small thing for yourself. Choose an action so small you can't not do it. Read one page, walk for 5 minutes, write a single sentence. Do it every day for the next 5 days. Track it, celebrate it, repeat it. With each tiny action, you're building the evidence you need to believe in your future self. Remember, you're not casting a vote for perfection. You're voting for presence, for being here, for showing up, for trusting yourself again. There is a simple magic here. The more you show up for yourself, the more natural it becomes to keep those promises. The more you keep those promises, the more your confidence grows, not the wild, loud confidence of fleeting motivation, but the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from self-trust. That's the foundation for everything else. Imagine a year from now, looking back on what started as a small habit. Imagine how many votes you will have cast, how much evidence you'll have gathered, who will you have become simply by keeping the promises you started today. What new standards will you hold? What new choices will you make? What new challenges will you face? No longer as someone who bails on themselves, but as someone who can be counted on, especially by yourself. Write it down now. Day 006. I vote for my future self today. And mean it. You don't need to become a different person overnight. You don't need a perfect motivational breakthrough. All you need is this, to show up even in a small way and do it every day. That's how you rebuild the trust. That's how the loop works. For you, not against you. And remember, the next step is not to fall back into the old perfectionism trap. Tomorrow, you'll learn exactly how to break that cycle so you can keep momentum, even when life isn't perfect. But for today, vote for your future self. Cast your first or next vote with a small action you can do right now. The journey of growth always starts and ends with self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, you become trustworthy in your own eyes. There's no external prize in the world that matters more than that. So, let today be the day you start keeping promises to the most important person in your life, yourself. And just watch how much easier everything else becomes. Be present. Take action. Celebrate the vote you cast for your future self. And when in doubt, remember, discipline isn't a punishment. It's the truest act of respect you can give yourself. Because you deserve to trust you.